Mom! Mom! Hayun called out to her mother, showing a picture that she drew. It was a picture of a tree and clouds on a sunny day with even flowers and green grass. Hayun was proud of her latest work and wanted to show her mother. When her mother turned around, there was blood seeping out from her eyes. With a gurgling voice, her mother said, "Why didn't you help me sooner, Hayun? If I wasn't putting you to bed, I might have seen that monster. If you had run back faster, your father and brother might have lived." Slowly the face of her mother began to morph into the same monster that had attacked them. "Join us, Hayun," it said with her mother's voice as it opened its mouth that had rows of sharp, jagged teeth. "No! Get back! Mommy! Daddy!" she screamed. Looking around, she was no longer inside of her house. Night still covered everything in darkness and stole the heat from the sun, causing her to shiver. It was just a dream, Hayun. She held her precious doll in front of her, pretending that it was comforting her. "I know, but it seems so real," Hayun answered to her doll. She hugged the doll tightly against her, feeling the soft texture of the doll and feeling a little warmer. As she held on to the doll, she began to cry. Imagine the doll say, "Hayun, everything's going to be okay. I'll always be with you, no matter what happens. You promise? You won't leave me behind like everyone else?" she forced herself to ask, her chest hurting. "We'll be together, forever," she held the doll, not wanting to think about how it wasn't alive and just made out of cloth and stuffing. Her stomach growled, letting her know that it had been a while since the last time she ate any food. She remembered how she had gone to a nearby bakery and asked the woman if she could have any food. The woman looked at her with such an angry face and kicked her away, shouting, "You filthy rats! You'll drive away all my customers with your disgusting face." The side of her face still hurt from the woman's foot. "Mommy, you told me that people would always help each other, but why do they hate me?" she asked at night, but there was no answer. She had tried to ask the other children, but they just laughed and pulled her hair. One of them saw the doll that she was carrying and tried to take it away. When Hayun saw the boy reach out for the doll, she quickly yanked her hair out of the two kids' hands and ran away. Even though her head hurt from some of the hair being yanked out, Hayun didn't want to imagine what she would do if her doll were taken away. She still remembered her mother's face as she gave Hayun the wrapped package. Excited to get a present, Hayun quickly opened it up and saw the cute doll on top of the colorful paper. "Your father and older siblings went around gathering everything for me to make this. Do you like it?" her mother asked her. Hayun squealed in delight, taking the doll out of the box and hugging it. "I love it, Mommy. Thank you so much." The doll was all that was left of her family, everyone else being eaten by that monster. Her other brothers and sisters were sleeping during the attack, except for one of her brothers and father who tried to save her. "Don't worry, we'll find something delicious tomorrow," Hayun cheerfully told the doll, convincing herself at the same time. She laid down against the wall of the alley, trying to keep one side of herself warm. As her eyes closed, Hayun hoped that she would have a happy dream. Feeling the warmth on her skin, Hayun opened her eyes. As they were getting nearer to winter, she knew that it wouldn't be just cold at night, but also during the day. "What are we going to do?" Hayun asked her doll, hoping that it would know. Off in the distance, she could hear people clapping and cheering at something. Thinking that this would be a good way to distract herself from her stomach cramps, she headed towards where the noises were coming from. There were people on each side of the large road. She could hear the sound of instruments and marching. The problem was with so many people, she couldn't see what was happening. Curiosity made her push into the crowd of people, with the occasional yell from someone telling her to go back to where she belonged. Ignoring the people cursing her, she held her doll tighter, not wanting to lose it. Slowly, Ha-Yun could see the road, which made her try and move forward faster. Just as she was about to reach the other side, Ha-Yun bumped into a man and caused the person to drop the food they were eating. Realizing that she was the cause of his misfortune, the man reached out towards her and pulled her hair. "Look what you did, you street rat! Do you know how much that was?" he yelled loudly, making others look at what was happening. A couple of people began to yank on her clothes as they looked at her with disgust. "Teach that trash a lesson and take her back to the alleyway," were some of the things she was able to hear. Ha-Yun began to panic as multiple hands began grabbing her. As she backed away, trying to escape from those threatening her, someone pushed her back. Light flooded around her as she flew several feet into the road. Tumbling on the ground, Ha-Yun finally stopped. Several shadows covered her, and the next thing she knew, she was being hoisted up and having weapons pointed at her. "Please, don't hurt me," she pleaded at the shadowy figures, likely soldiers. "Hold!" a commanding voice called out, preventing the soldiers from striking her down. As the soldiers moved away, Ha-Yun could see an elaborate carriage that had a distinguished older man, alongside what looked like his family. Feeling his eyes on her, Ha-Yun flinched from his gaze. "Bring the child over here," the man commanded in a softer and gentler voice. Compared to when they roughly handled her, the soldiers treated her with more care. Seeing such a sudden change in the circumstances caused her to worry. She wondered if the older man was going to kick her as the woman did. Ha-Yun tried to understand who this person was who could order the soldiers as he did. When she was near the man, he asked her, "Child, what were you doing on the street? Is your mother and father with you?" Hearing those questions asked in such a soothing voice really struck Ha-Yun. Before she was able to answer, her vision became hazy as she began to cry. The soldiers around her moved away a little, each one thinking that they had done something to make the girl cry. The soldiers looked at one another with confusion on their face, silently asking what was happening. "Bring her up here. The poor thing must have been through a lot. Have some soldiers try to find this girl's parents and bring them to the palace. I'm sure that they are worried about where their daughter went and are probably frantically searching for her." She spoke to the soldiers, several of them helping Ha-Yun onto the carriage. She felt the hands lift her up into the air as another pair of hands gently took her into the carriage. In moments, Ha-Yun felt the comfortable feeling of the cushions. Feeling the way the pillows seemed to embrace her made her happy, which made her cry even harder. There, everything will be alright," a woman's voice comforted her, wiping her tears with a soft cloth. It reminded her of what her mother used to do, causing Ha-Yun to embrace the woman quickly. The smell from the woman was relaxing. On top of the horrible sleep, the excitement from the crowd's abuse and such a welcoming situation on the carriage made her eyes feel extra heavy. In a matter of moments, she felt herself drifting off to sleep.